Hey everyone, this is Bernard from exploreaswego. We are currently in Bangkok, Thailand, and we're filming in this super awesome WeWork space. We're just taking a little step back and trying to give you an overall summary of a really awesome trip that took us around the world, 6 different countries, 18,000 miles, all over Asia from New York. There is this misconception that travel, especially flying abroad, is super expensive, but that is completely false. If you are open to being more resourceful or travel with other alternatives, there are many other possibilities to make travel much more affordable.
We just jumped into our Uber and we are headed to Newark International Airport on our first leg to Chicago here before our flight to Hong Kong.
So last spring, I found a super awesome deal that takes you from New York to Hong Kong and then to Hangzhou in China for only $180 with United. So that got me thinking, if I can fly that cheap one way on a deal like this, why not stretch it out and trick the system into thinking that it is only a one-way flight, and the results was awesome. We did New York to O'Hare, Chicago, to Hong Kong, and then to Hangzhou. And then from China, we had an open jaw of 5 weeks in Asia, which we booked a whole bunch of different crazy routings, traveling from Japan to Singapore to Bali, Indonesia to Malaysia, and that's a whole story for another time to tell. And then returning from Shanghai to LA and then to Toronto. And then all we really needed was to book a cheap one-way flight back to New York. We flew a total of 18,000 miles with this super crazy routing, but it was so worth it because even with a super discounted ticket, we managed to earn 50% of our miles, which is 9,000 miles, and that is redeemable for another free one-way economy ticket. And that's where our flight ends for only the price of $285. So before you jump into Google Flights and try to look for all these really awesome deals, there are a few things to consider. Usually these deals require a lot of groundwork and planning, and also a lot of flexibility in terms of your scheduling. So we had the luxury of quitting our jobs to travel full-time, which means that we can literally jump on a plane within the next week or even tomorrow if we can find a deal right now. In order to fly so cheap, or getting a flight so cheap, is that you need extreme flexibility and also being able to jump on a deal when you see it within hours, because most of these flights are mistake fares or accidental fares where you trick the system into pricing a ticket that's so ridiculously affordable that sometimes the airline might discover it as a mistake. They'll pull it out within hours. So the best tricks and tips is obviously following our Facebook group. We will periodically post super crazy deals when we find one and share with our community. So that's a good place to start. Secondly, you also have to factor in other costs that comes with these flights. For example, this flight that we took comes with an extra cost of requesting for a travel visa, because most cities in China, for example like Hangzhou, you require a travel visa. So these are actually additional costs when you consider these deals, flights with deals that travel to less popular countries that mostly require you a visa even though you transit or have a layover. Lastly, flying 40-something hours on economy coach needs some mental fortitude. We just wanted to maximize on the things we can see and the places we can go in exchange for comfort and value. So it's really no joke flying 14 to 16 hours on an economy class ticket and then have a layover in an airport and then jumping onto another regional ticket or a domestic flight for another 3 to 4 hours. And lastly, having all these crazy routings also require you to be very flexible with your time schedule, because take for example for us, we ended our ticket in Toronto by tricking the system that it's not in New York, which also means that we need to fork out additional money from our pocket to fly from Toronto to New York. So these are additional costs that, even though they might not cost a lot, but it will eventually add up. Unless your schedule is really flexible and you can fly anytime when there's cheaper flights, these kind of tickets might not actually work for you. So follow us on Facebook. In our close Facebook group, we'll share posts of real-time flights and deals. Thank you for watching our video. If you like these content, please give us a thumbs up, drop us a comment, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out, and we hope to continue producing great videos like these to share with you. See you in the next episode.